Assalamu alaikum and good evening. Welcome to another episode of The Classics Show. I am your host, Shabnam Riaz. How are you on this Sunday evening? Getting ready, to face that Monday feeling that you have in the morning. But then, what I think about, the philosophy I think about this is that if you have a Monday feeling, it means you are blessed to have a job to go to have an education to pursue, to have something to do in life. So, everything is relative. And so I hope you've had a good weekend. And with speaking to us today as well and watching today's show, I'm sure you're going to come away with, a changed perception. And there's going to be a lot of information, I promise you, in today's show. And the reason for that is because the topic that we're going to talk about is this book. And this is Six Thinking Hats. Six Thinking Hats. It's by Edward de Bono. And it is a problem-solving book. So, life is about problems, isn't it? To talk about this book, we're very happy to have with us in the studios today Mr. Ahmad Fuad, who's a corporate training specialist and an author. Thank you very much for joining us here.
Thank you very much, Shabnam, for inviting me over. I always enjoy coming here.
Yeah, and I was just about to say that the shows that we've had with you in them as well, that they've been really, really informative, and we've had very good feedback, and it's always, been something that the viewer can take something away positive.
Very true, very true. And this is exactly why we do these shows, so that people learn and people implement in their routine life, their daily life, and then get best out of their routine. Because life is about time, and time is calculated.
Right.
You cannot have more time. You cannot purchase time, more time. I cannot get more hours or minutes or even seconds from you to add into my life. So I have to manage it this way, that I spend a successful life. Right. And successful means a life that I dream of. So that is how we discuss these things.
Fantastic. Now, this is a book of your selection that you wanted to talk about today. And I think the best thing about this is that we're addressing, in this book, the author is addressing your thinking. And the title of this, Six Thinking Hats, we're going to go into this later on in the program, where you will describe to us and tell us about the different colored hats and what they actually represent, because they're metaphorically, they're symbolizing a state of mind. So when we talk about thinking, are people really aware of how much their thinking is making a difference in their quality of life?
The one-word answer is no. Interestingly, people don't know. And this is not the dilemma of our society only, it is the dilemma of Western society as well. That is why de Bono came up with this innovative idea, and he actually, Shabnam, challenged Aristotle and Socrates on this.
Imagine.
He says that even Western world, the entire Western society is haunted by these two greats, and they could never get rid of those thinking patterns that they have told us to follow. So he challenged them. He said, you guys have been wrong for last 2,300 years.
That is a huge statement to make.
That is a huge statement. And somehow this makes sense.
And it was a bestseller in 1985, I think it was published.
It was a bestseller. It is still a bestseller. People go and purchase it on any cost. And I did it for many times. I have presented it to my friends and people just to tell them, please think, start thinking.
Because many times we do come to this conclusion that we are more of a reactionary nation at the moment rather than an actionary. Whatever the influencing factors are, a feeling of hopelessness, frustration, or whatever the things are, but there is so much that you can do to empower yourself. And this is one of those steps, isn't it?
Exactly. And this is how we can do it. And this is exactly how we should do it. Shabnam, I agree with de Bono on that part, because he believes that you can change your feelings by thinking positive or even negative. You can change your life. And where he actually challenges Socrates and Plato, he says they invented the thought of thinking pattern. They have given us a thinking pattern where we react to the dialogues only. We react to, we counter argument, that is argumentative thinking.
Okay.
We talk to each other.
Right.
I present an idea about something, some situation, and you, being a very good friend of mine, react to that situation or my feeling. You react. Number one. Right. Or maybe if you are jealous of me and you don't like me, you are happy about it, and you'll be adding fuel to it. By using that argument, let's say if I say I'm going through a tough phase in my life, you'll say, oh, I understand. Yes, you are into this phase. And that is where the argument starts.
Okay.
I'll either say, no, it is wrong, it is absolutely nonsense, or you're going through a negative frame of mind, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe it's perfectly okay, it happens, and this also, and this is how it goes.
Right.
This is actually augmentative thinking.
Okay.
He's against it.
All right.
He believes when two people discuss a situation, they have a natural reactionary attachment to that situation.
Okay.
They would react all the time.
All right.
And they would argue with reaction, feelings only. And that is where the situation gets worsened and you do not reach any solution.
So you're reacting without thinking.
Yes,
basically.
exactly. Because maybe both those two gentlemen were not absolutely wrong, because they were not into problem solving. They wanted people to think, meditate, think again and again and again and again. They were open to reaching no solutions. They wanted people to think, and that's it. Think without any reason.
But here's a guided thought.
Yeah. He says, because he's a corporate actually consultant, he wants people to think with a reason.
And give it a practical form.
Yeah.
And that is the main thing, isn't it? To give it some sort of an implementability.
Exactly.
Here you are. This is a process that you can, you can learn, and you can use it to enhance your life.
Exactly.
You know, one thing that you said at the beginning of the program as well was that when you think, that's how you feel.
Yeah.
And it also is, part of our religion as well, isn't it? Not to backbite. Why shouldn't you backbite? Because if you go into the philosophy of this, what actually is happening is you are harboring the negative feelings with another person about a third person, and so you're constantly dragging up bad thoughts. The bad thoughts come into play, and you develop that deep grudge. So then the next time you see that person, even if they do not say anything or do anything, you're already geared up for a fight.
Exactly. We conduct a training program, Shabnam, and we always ask people to go out in the market, go into their routine life, and talk positive about themselves, about their country, about their religion, about their beliefs. Do not say that we are a violent society, we are an intolerant society. No. If this is true at all, tell us how to address it.
Right.
What should we do?
Right.
Instead of telling you are wrong and you are doing crap and you are nonsense, etc., etc., you should tell how to improve it.
Exactly.
There has to be a solution to the problem.
Yeah.
And when we tell someone, I'm telling you, let's say you are doing wrong, and someone comes from the outside and he tells you, you are not looking good, and the third person comes, you made this blunder the other day, how would you feel? You will feel depressed. And would you be able to think creatively or react to the situation, respond to the situation?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
So what De Bono suggests is he gives you a structured pattern to think.
Right.
He gives you space to feel. Feel as well. There is a head which is dedicated to the feeling as well.
Fantastic.
So he wants you to feel as well, but think.
Right.
It has to be structured and it has to be solution oriented.
Right, that's great. So let's start talking about the hats, because this is a topic that we can go on talking about, for ages and ages. We'll come to the end of the program. It's that interesting.
It is.
So let's start with the hats, the different ones that he has denoted a color. For 6 of them.
6 of them.
And the six of them are very different.
Very different.
In their structure.
Yeah.
So the first one, the white hat. Tell us about that and what it means.
White hat, how De Bono describes it. White hat is about information.
Okay.
He asks you to think of a white paper that comes out of the computer.
Okay.
It contains information.
Right.
It is about facts and figures. That's it.
Right.
When he says, he actually gives you a complete program, complete structure to run this exercise. You can do it as an individual. You can have one hat and then replace it with the other one and then wear another one. Or you can run it as a group.
Okay.
Maybe let's talk about a problem. Let's say we want to purchase a house
Okay.
That's the problem statement we have.
Right.
Right.
Purchasing a house. Okay,
Exactly.
fine.
So how to go about it? What should we do?
Now, just to interrupt you there, I would say that when something like that comes up, usually now part of the world, it's an emotionally based.
Yeah. Exactly.
Isn't it?
True.
And you'll have less of the facts and figures and more of the
Yeah.
emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
yeah, please go on.
So when you wear that white hat,
Yeah.
you actually collect data. You talk about
Right.
facts only.
Okay.
Let's say I want to purchase a house in F7 maybe. What data I have with me? Is it a commercial area or the residential area? Number one. So I'll write down on a chart paper
Right.
this fact number one.
Okay.
So I'll request you to have that white hat and tell us about the information you have on that particular subject on F7 and this all stuff.
Right.
You'll be telling us the information you have and we'll be writing down on a chart paper.
Okay.
And then we'll go to the next person with that white hat and this,
So
this is
everybody sort of has the same hat on, is in the same frame of mind, thinking the same with the same approach, and they're giving their different input.
exactly.
Okay.
But
Right.
they will be they'll stick to the information part only. The
Okay.
facts only,
Right.
no emotions at all, no
Achha.
creativity at all. We need facts only. There could be numbers, the market rate, the market value, the area, the look, and this all stuff. So this will be all about facts and figures only.
Okay.
Nothing beyond it.
Right.
If you go beyond it, so at that particular moment, we'll stop you. Shabnam, this is actually red hat thinking. Please stop. We'll talk about it later on.
Okay.
You may write it down for a while if you are unable to hold that idea. But right now at this particular moment, we'll be talking about the white hat.
Right. Okay. So you're sensitizing a person
Yeah.
to be aware
Yeah.
of what frame of mind they're thinking in, actually.
Exactly.
So that they also will, when you caution them and you say, okay, this is what you're saying, it doesn't belong under this hat. So say that later, then an alarm bell goes up and you will be able to understand where your sort of boundaries are at that time. Okay, this didn't come under that hat.
True.
So that's
exactly.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll have to go in a structured form, otherwise we'll be lost simply. You are coming up with the red hat thinking and I'm coming up with the white hat thinking and we are lost. And this is exactly what happens in that argumentative thinking
You
part.
think I'm going to apply this at home when we have a discussion, when I have a discussion with my kids as well.
Of course we should.
And I would love to share those results with you because I think this is really interesting because I think we're all the emotional thinkers,
Yeah, that's true.
many of us, so we can...
We are emotional creature.
Yeah.
By nature, we like to be emotional. It is not about, again, this is not about this society only.
Right.
Worldwide, people are emotional.
Is there a difference between men and women?
Studies say yes.
That's a diplomatic answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, this is a little different, but with this, what De Bono believes, there is no such thing as personality A or personality B or different
Okay.
personality types. That is
Okay.
where he does not agree with Freud. Freud says if you are a personality A, this personality type you are having, you'll be more logical. You'll be talking about numbers and facts and all details. But I tag you with that personality and you'll never become a good storyteller.
True.
Because personality
Because you've been
B,
labeled.
You will be labeled.
Yeah.
And you'll start feeling that you are a personality A type.
And then, in fact, you'll be applying that to every situation. Whenever anything happens,
Exactly.
you'll say, okay, I reacted that way or I behaved that way because I am that type of personality. What can I do about it?
Exactly. Let me explain it a little further. I have been a personality B. I am a short story writer. I like poetry. I like paintings and this all. I'm more into arts, right? I am a storyteller. In trainings, I use a lot of stories. And I have been resisting to the facts, to the figures, to the numbers, Excel sheets, and this all. I was more a PowerPoint person instead of being an Excel person. And I have been actually resisting this all stuff. But when I started my own business, I learned to learn Excel. This was the problem. This was the tool that could address my all issues.
Fine.
So what De Bono says, and I learned from De Bono that please come out of this.
Do not categorize yourself.
Exactly.
You are not a category. You are not a label. Okay, so that's the white hat. Now, what about, the red hat? I like this one. Emotional.
I should say this is blood red. This is all about emotions.
The symbol of, love and affection, emotions, fire, red, the red hat. Tell us about that one.
It is about emotions, as it says. And as we discussed, de Bono gives you permission to feel about the decision you are going to make,
Okay.
about the problem you are going to solve.
So let's keep it in the same category, the house.
The house, yes.
The procurement of the house.
Yeah.
And now you've done your white hat, you've
Yeah.
got all your data together,
Yeah.
and now comes on the red hat.
Yeah.
So
now we are wearing that red hat,
Yeah.
and now we'll be talking about the feeling and the response that we get from that particular place. Maybe, you know, I've been in love with someone, and I had very good feeling about that particular area because
It has
that
an
lady is living
association.
in that very
Okay.
area. So I am engaged. I want to be there anyway.
You're emotionally invested there.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
right.
And maybe I like the area. It is all about liking and disliking. Maybe the problem, I won't be logical in this red hat. I'll be talking about emotions only. I like it. I hate it. I love the area. I love the place. I love the type of buildings in the area. I feel that this looks more like my dream house. You know, the area is better for that, the dream I have in my mind.
Right.
It will not work in the West Indies, in the Europe, in Australia. This Islamabad F7 is actually made for it. And I'll live for a long time. I'll spend my old age in the area. I'll be enjoying flowers and this also because this area is so green. So it is about feeling.
Right.
Interestingly, de Bono says, what I have personally experienced as well, he says, in the end, you make emotional decisions. You go with the feelings. But in the end, you can have a lot of data about something.
Okay.
In my personal perspective, let me explain it this way. When I was growing up, I was a teenager, there was a boom of IT industry. Everyone is doing IT somehow or the other. MBIT and you know, they were IT specialists and so on. I would always love playing cricket. I wanted to be a professional
That was your
cricketer.
passion?
That was my passion.
Okay.
Okay, and the people around me were either doctors or the professors. I never liked to be a doctor or a professor. I wanted to be a cricketer anyway.
Right.
So when I started studying, I compromised on this idea that I don't want to be a software engineer. It is beneficial. Facts is speaking for being an IT professional. I will be having a good future, but I don't feel like becoming an IT professional. I don't enjoy being it. I like to be in the ground, under the sun, and I enjoy it. So this is about feeling,
Right.
number one. Number two, he allows you to go with your gut.
The gut,
Yeah.
the gut instinct. Okay.
Exactly. You know, people usually say that there are 5 senses, and if you want to go with the 6th sense, those 5 senses should be fully functional. You know, that is how the 6th sense adds value
Right.
to your entire. He doesn't believe it. He says, if somehow you are getting those vibes, the gut is not satisfied. There is someone who is telling you that there is something wrong.
There's a feeling deep down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah?
Facts are going otherwise.
Yeah.
But you are feeling that there is something wrong. Leave it there then. Don't go after it.
Okay. So
You
he's
don't need to go to the next hat even.
really.
Yeah.
That's how much emphasis he's putting on
The
on the
emotions
emotion and the
feelings.
red hat.
Yeah, because he
Okay.
believes that you won't be able to carry for a longer time. You will be, you'll drop the idea of doing whatever you want to.
Because you wouldn't have that commitment and the motivation and the passion behind it if you're relying too much on the other sort of thinking.
Heads of thinkings, yes.
Okay, that's really fascinating. So how do you, it's about creating a balance as well then, isn't it?
Exactly. How it will, okay, let me add one more point about running this whole product. There will be someone, we're talking about him, that particular person. There will be someone in the room who will be monitoring this all stuff, and he would not let you go with one hat for more than 4 or 5 minutes.
Okay,
Whatever you have in your heart and mind,
right.
write it.
Spit
write
it
down.
out, right, okay.
And don't spend much time into it because you'll be drained by the end of the time. So it should be done within 12 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
Don't spend much time on one hat or the other.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Because then that gets sort of, then you're exhausting things inside as well. Okay. So we've got the white hat, which was for the facts and the figures that you said. The red hat was for the emotions, and now the black hat.
That's the most important one. De Bono says, because naturally we avoid it. Naturally, we want to avoid it, but naturally we are usually into it. Black hat is about negative feelings.
Negative feelings.
Negative facts.
Negative facts.
Yeah. If you
Careful and cautious.
Yeah, exactly. Because again, we are coming back to that house.
Yeah.
We were building and purchasing that house.
Right.
There will be someone, or maybe we all will be wearing that black hat. And we'll be talking about the negative points of that area. We cannot reach in time in the area. It is far and away from the other society or the place I work. This is very expensive one. So I cannot purchase it. Again, and with that black, there should be a lot of negative aspects that you should be discussing. And the whole room should be discussing. You should put your fears on the table.
Right. Do you get, sort of like when the black hat session is on, do you get much more of an input?
Yeah, that is why he says this is the most important one. Because everything comes also out of your heart and your brain.
Which actually makes you realize that there are so many things that a person is fearful from.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that not true?
And you have to be a devil's advocate of your own idea. You want to live in that particular house and you're all up for it. You feel good, but there are problems, of course. Is that area safe or not? Will you be able to, you are doing a job and will you be able to reach in time on that area? Where the structure you are having, does the area allow that structure? You want to have a multi-story building, you want to have a multi-story building, and the area doesn't allow you actually.
Right.
So that goes against the rules.
So, in fact, everything that you're saying, we would have in our lives come across this situation so many times, not just for ourselves, but other people as well, family, friends, where, even in this particular instance that you're telling us about, where somebody has purchased a house and you've gone and you go for a housewarming, and later on, they're saying, we didn't think of this, and we didn't think of it would be so dark, and we didn't think that, at this time of night it would be so quiet here. And this is
true.
all part of that.
People, when people leave Karachi and come to Lahore, I remember my friends coming to Lahore and calling back their friends that we can walk on the roads without any fear. We are using this smartphone.
Right.
It was, I think, 2010 or 2011. This was happening. The situation has been much improved now.
Yeah.
But it is about the area.
Exactly.
And then people coming to Islamabad from Lahore, they were having like 6, 7, 8 years ago, they would be having different feeling that the area is quiet and people don't come out on the roads and this all stuff. So if you are not done your homework, you'll be surprised.
True.
If you are doing this homework, you are wearing that black hat, you will at least call a friend in Islamabad and ask him about the details of the area.
Exactly. And not only this, it affects so many major decisions that a person is making in life.
Because usually we are emotion-driven creature. So if we feel something good about something, we go after it. If we feel something bad about, we don't go after it. He wants you to be structured. Write down everything you feel. Right. Write down facts. Write down your emotions. Write down your negativity. Bring it on the table, and then discuss this all stuff. And then see if your fears are right. If your feelings are right, are you going on the right track? And that is why he gives you a structured path.
Right. Okay. And this black hat one, because I find this very fascinating. Do you have sort of, again, you see that's a sort of contradiction of what De Bono is saying, because he's saying that you can't classify the personalities. But then do you have certain people who just keep unknowingly and subconsciously reverting to the black hat all the time?
Very, very relevant and important question, because we tend to do this. We go back to the other hat we were wearing before, or sometimes we jump into the next one. But he wants you to keep that thought with you, maybe write down somewhere, but don't put your hat off and jump into the other one. Stick to one structured path. Talk about the black one, if we are talking about the black one.
Okay.
If you are having some sort of feelings related thinking, then you'll announce the party, the people, that now I am going to wear red hat, and this will be parked in that emotion side, and this is my feedback. Okay, because right now we were running that black hat exercise, so I'm wearing this black hat again, and then I'll be back to this.
Is this in any particular order, or is it just you can take any order, or does he specify a particular order?
He tells you to start with two. The first ones, number one is white hat.
Right.
Go with the information.
Right.
Two, red hat.
Right.
The emotions.
Right.
And he stops you right there.
Okay.
If emotions and feelings and gut doesn't go with it, leave those four. Otherwise, if it allows you to go with it, facts and the gut, emotion, feelings, then go
ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the black hat, we've done that one. So right now we've done the white hat, the red hat, the black hat, and now the yellow hat. I like that one. The positive one. The
positivity. All right, you might have seen these colors are very, very much into the
sync with the actual emotion, or the actual mind frame, isn't it? Yeah, it's true. It is.
Yellow means the sunlight.
Oh yeah.
That's positivity. A new day has set in. So what are you supposed to do in the new day? You'll be talking for the rest of the day. You should be talking positive. You should bring a lot of data from that facts and figures and emotions. You need to look into those all details and bring about the right ones, the good ones, because black hat has already collected the negative thoughts, the negative facts.
So if you look at it like as a chemistry experiment, there's sort of filters.
Yeah, there's filters. You're right. Yes.
It's sort of like the filters in one sort of long funnel, and you're pouring something from the top, and then you're seeing it all, and you're going to see what you end up with.
It's true, because this is a process. That's a thinking process, what De Bono says. You know, why we are talking about it, De Bono has written 30 plus, total 57, and 30 plus books are on thinking only.
Wow.
There's a book, Teach Your Child How to Think. There's a book, Teach Yourself How to Think.
Oh, these are so important.
These are so important.
Yeah.
As Russell once said, that people prefer dying instead of thinking. They don't like to think. They don't want to think. And if someone tells them to think, they resist like anything. Because we're fed with the...
we're being fed all the time.
Beliefs.
Yeah.
Some beliefs that our parents or society has... injected in us.
Yeah.
We don't want to challenge them. De Bono challenges all of them.
Right, okay. And that is also very relevant because in our part of the world, we don't really welcome our younger generation to question us too much, or to think in a way that questions our own mindset.
True.
Is that not true?
That's true. He has actually given the example of Japanese society. He believes that giving any argument against the boss, against the parents, against anyone who is elder to you or at a senior post, Japanese society never welcomes it. But with this hat, even in Japanese society, you can tell your boss, sir, absolutely, that's a wonderful idea.
With all due respect.
With all due respect. Now I'm wearing the black hat, and this what that black hat says. So you can highlight the problems that his idea has.
Right.
So he believes, stay respectful.
Yeah.
But we are the black hat, we are the red hat, and you can be in even that society which hates the argument, would
agree to disagree.
Yeah. And this is how you can do that.
And you can do it beautifully.
Exactly.
It's a matter of just getting your viewpoint across.
Absolutely.
In a way that is appealing to another person. Yeah. Okay, so the positive spectrum, you have to mindfully then think of the problem at hand, or the question.
What positives will you get out of that idea, basic idea?
Right.
Again, we are going back to that house.
Yeah. I think we are going to definitely make a deal by the end of the program.
Of course we will. So we are going back to that house, and we are talking about the positive ones that are attached to the area. to the house, to the people living in that area, to the safety and this all stuff. What is good about that area?
Okay.
What are the pluses? What are the positives? What sort of feelings you'll be having if you get up early in the morning, if you sleep late, if you want to have there is a mosque nearer to the house, there is a market, there is a school, and this all stuff. So you'll be speaking about positive points only, one by one.
Right, okay. But you know, Fuad, do you not agree that there are, if you have, you know, say just for argument's sake, a group of 6 or 7 people, and you know them, they're friends, you will sort of, before this session is on, you will know how much each one of them will be able to put, you know, be in as an input in each of those different, because of their frame of mind.
Yeah, true,
Okay,
true.
you know, in a certain situation, there will always be a person, one of your friends, who will see the bleak side, who will always be the cautioner. So they are the black hat wearer, and they'll be like, you know, no, and then you'll always have another friend who will be the more positive one, the yellow hat one, who will, oh no, this is okay, and so this is also something that
this happens, but what we can, number one, we can use it as a tool of this exercise.
Right.
You usually, let's say, you usually in your routine life wear yellow hat, and I wear black hat. This is what you are talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but we all are given 4 minutes for this whole exercise with one hat. Right? You have to give your input, please.
Right.
Anyway, and that the last hat that we are talking about, the person who is running this entire thinking process will ensure that the person doesn't go with one hat only. He must speak, say something under this hat.
Right.
We understand you maybe you are a quality check professional, you are an audit officer, and naturally you go to the problematic area. We understand. Thank you for adding value.
Right.
But let's talk about the positive ones, the yellow hat. Let's talk about the emotional side, the red hat. Wear this red hat, please.
Fantastic. Yeah. That's amazing. Okay, the green hat now. That represents creative and lateral thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, the creativity one, I like that one.
The creativity comes.
Yeah.
What sort of house I want it to be?
Okay.
Beauty means what? Let's see. Let's see what if it is actually what if? What if what I want doesn't happen? What if the management of the area doesn't allow us to do that? I want a multi-story building, but the management or the area doesn't allow us. What to do then? What if? Be creative.
Okay.
Can you go with any other idea? Do you want to have more space for that particular house? You want to have small groups, small rooms of the house, because those multi-stories are not available in the area. You need to be creative. How do we do that? That's very, very interesting, where lateral thinking comes. He says, just recall your driving pattern. When you go to the office, you go to the office every day. How often do you change your route?
Never.
Never.
Only if there's a roadblock or something.
Yeah, there's a roadblock, there is a construction, there are containers, there's a protest.
Yeah.
You don't
otherwise
do it
the same route.
Exactly. He believes there are 6, 8, 10 other ways to reach your office that you haven't tried before. Be creative. Instead of going into the situation, you're stuck in the traffic, and then you're thinking that I think there should be another way. We could have turned our car from that area, and then we could reach our office or the house, if we are talking about the house. So be creative about the ideas. Get a lot of parallel ideas to run your show, to reach your dream. You want a house in the area. You want a house, number one. A dream house, 2. This is the fact you have in your mind. There can be a lot of other ways to reach your point. So put them on the table.
Think out of the box.
Yeah, think out of the box.
Okay,
and there comes a 9-dot activity that we usually do. I would like maybe we can show on the screen as well. You need to connect 9 dots with 4 straight lines.
Okay.
It is not easy to do. You have to think, you have to discuss, you have to collect thoughts, you have to come out of the box. It is actually out of the box, because 9 dots usually make a box.
Right.
but the middle one is left out. It is not connected. You have to
Okay.
connect all of them.
Okay.
So this is
So it's
what
sort of like your puzzle solving,
It
isn't
is
it?
a
And some
puzzle.
people are really good at puzzles, and
Yeah,
they really enjoy them as well. And
Yeah.
for some people, it would be, oh my God, I can't do this, you know?
I'm that kind, of course. I avoid as much
You
as
avoid that.
possible.
Actually, I
Yeah.
love attempting the puzzles, but being able to do them or not is
Only
is totally
I
different thing.
I do love it, but if I know the answer simply.
Right.
But
Okay.
before.
You mentioned a mind game here.
Yeah, let's play that game.
Yeah.
Can we
Yeah,
play?
sure.
it?
Yeah, love to.
Or we'll be playing a game. We'll be starting from 1 and we'll count till 20.
Okay.
The one of 2 from both of us, the one who approaches 20 first will be the winner.
Okay.
The condition is only one.
Right.
You can count 1 or 2 figures at a time.
Okay.
All right?
Right.
So this is the condition.
Right,
So the
right.
winner will be the one who reaches first.
20.
And
You also
before
have a
that-
statement before we're going to play this, isn't
and
it?
before we do that, I am going to make some sort of what should we say, claim,
Right.
a big claim.
Yeah.
You will never win the game.
Oh my God. Now you
Never.
see, psychologically, you put me in the, what is it, the black hat. So I'm thinking, okay.
I'm telling you, you'll never win the
Okay,
game.
right, okay.
Can we
Let-
start?
yes,
Okay,
please.
who will start? You or me?
Yeah.
Because I bet whoever starts, I'll win.
Okay, I'll start. 1,
2,
3, 4,
5,
6,
7, 8,
9,
10, 11,
12,
13, 14,
15, 16,
17,
18.
19, 20. You want to play again?
No.
I can start and then you'll be losing again, yes?
Okay, so again, that's strategy.
Yeah, that's a strategy. I know the landmarks.
Right, okay,
When you started the game, you started with 1,
right.
right? The first landmark is 2. You don't know that.
Okay. No, I don't.
I know it.
Okay.
Because I have played it for so many times.
Right.
Right. Okay. I will be expressionless if you say 1, 2, and I'll be plain. The second landmark is 5.
Ah,
Third is 8.
okay.
Fourth is 11.
Right.
Fifth is
okay.
14, and then 17. So
Right.
whoever says 17 will be the winner ultimately.
Okay, that's
So-
fascinating.
yeah.
Unfortunately, we're coming to the end of the program. It's got fascinating, fascinating discussion. Just very briefly, tell us about the blue hat as well. And we've also got to talk about your book. Unfortunately, we're coming to the end of the program. This is Fuad's book, which is Become a Business Tycoon. And this is a book that you have recently authored. And I'm sure you're very, very proud about this. And you've had great reviews for this as well.
Yeah, of course.
And you must have been employing all these techniques.
Of course, yes, I did.
Yeah?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
So first we will talk. We talk about.
Well,
the
we just have to
sixth-
close, so we just
Okay.
have a little time. So
Yeah.
if you can just, yeah. tell us
That's
it.
actually Blue Hat. Blue Hat is actually monitoring the whole process. He's the boss. He ensures that no one goes beyond any hat.
Right.
If red hat thinking is continuing, you should ensure that that is not continuing. So the red hat will conclude the entire. The blue hat will conclude the entire process
Right.
and give you the conclusion.
Fantastic. Tell us about your book quickly before we sign off.
Yeah,
Yeah, tell us
this
about
book, the audience of this book is two types of people. One is the youth who is going to have a career starting from right tomorrow maybe, and the other one is the mid-career who are facing mid-career crisis.
Okay.
Because right now in 2017, 18 until 23, there will be a lot of layoff.
Right.
So you should know how to receive a business. How should you understand the business, even if you are a jobian?
Right.
You should know what the business is, how the business is going.
Right.
Understand develop the understanding of the business, and then you'll be able to do a good job.
Fantastic. Inshallah, we will have you on the show again and we'll talk in depth about your book as well. But it's been a fantastic conversation today. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, so I'm going to have to wind up the program. But thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you very much, Shabnam. Thank you.
Okay, and with that, we come to the end of today's program. I have really, really enjoyed that. You know, the 6 Thinking Hats by Edward de Bono, and our guest was telling us, Fuad was telling us about, you know, what an important thing this is to think about what you're thinking. So until next week, stay happy. Bye-bye.
world.